Welcome students, I am Dr. Ravi Jaiswal, Associate Professor in LBS Group of Institutions Lucknow in the Department of Management Studies. Today we will be taking the topic classification of business products and customers, which is the part of B2B and service marketing. The paper code is KMBN MK03. Before moving to classification of the business products, we must know that the consumer products can be divided into different categories. There are two basic categories of the products. First is the consumer products and second is the business products. As the consumer products are divided into different categories, so as to market them in a very decent manner, so that the results can be created. In the same manner, business products are also categorized into different categories, which is called the classification of the business products. Whether we talk about the consumer products or business products, in both the cases classification schemes they focuses different class, different customers, so as to use the different strategies of the marketing, so that they can avail the benefit or they can get the good share of the market. Different authors have classified business products into differently, but majorly it is means the business products are classified into three major categories. First is material and parts, second is capital items, and third is supplies and business services. We will move ahead with these three types of business products. First is material and parts. See, this category material and part is basically the largest category of the business products. In this category, business purchases for input, they act as a input for the finished goods. Basically, manufacturing systems require different kinds of materials and parts, which acts as a raw material basically, and through work on them, means different processes of the manufacturing, they transform these input materials, these input parts into output products or the finished goods, and later on these finished goods are marketed to different business consumers. If we take the example of soft drink manufacturer, what kind of products or the raw material or the parts they use? Basically, they use sugar, they use flavoring agents, they use different chemical, glasses, they packaging material, caps, cans, and there are so many parts or materials that will be required for making the goods, making the soft drink bottle. So, if we talk about all these kind of materials, they will be the part of the materials and parts, means the basic category of the classification of the business products. Second is the capital items. See, these are quite different from the first one. Capital items are basically those items, those products, those parts of the finished goods that are required to manufacture the goods, means they directly not involved in the manufacturing of goods, but they are the facilities, the capabilities which are required by the business owners, by the business organizations, so as to produce the goods. If we take the example of the soft drink, again the same example, like in the last slide what we have known ki there was sugar, there was bottling, there was the flavoring agent, there was cans, all these items were required just to make the finished goods. But now in capital items, how those items, how those parts or raw materials will be added together, will be processed, so as to make the complete or finished goods. So, there will be the requirement of the machinery, there will be requirement of the labeling equipments, or there will be requirement of the some facilities that will be engaged in the making of the beverages, the packaging facility, and so on. There may be different kinds of the items like this, and these items will be considered as the capital items. See, these items or these parts, these classification parts are not for just one time, they will be used again and again in the coming manufacturing of the other goods in the same organization. If we talk about the service organization, in service organization there is no direct means physical products are offered, they are not manufactured, but there are some say some facilities that will be required to provide the services, like some retail outlets should be there. There must be some system installations that will be required to provide the services. If we talk about the say hair salon, then at that time they will be requiring some facilities, so that these services of their own can be provided to the customers with the use of those facilities. So, for physical goods or for services goods, in both the cases there will be the requirement of the capital items. Now, we will move to the third category. This is the accessories, means this category will help the first and second category. It is supplies and business services. See, if we talk about the marketing of the products or the advertising of the products, then what activities will be required, what services will be required so as to market the products efficiently. This is the final category of the business products, which is required to allow the business operations or the business owners so as to support the first two kinds of the categories. In the same example, soft drink, in the case of the soft drink manufacturing company, if we talk about the marketing of the goods, then the marketing instruments will be used as a business services and supplies. There will be the use of the advertising agencies. They will be, the companies will be requiring the consultancies that who will be providing different marketing tips. There will be requirement of the legal advice or stationery or some other thing like this, and all these supplies and business services will be making or will be assisting in the promotion of the goods manufactured by the business organization. Hence, different types of business products we can say require different strategies. If we talk about these three types of the classes, so every class will require different types of strategies to be acquired, so that business goals can be achieved in a smart way. Now, we will be moving to the classification of customers. Earlier we have discussed the classification of the business products, but every product cannot be offered to every customers. If you are the business organization, then for sure you have to select different kind of customers. You have to know the psychology of different customers, and psychology of different customers are different from the different one, means one customer will be different from the second customers and so on, the third, the fourth. No, the same strategy can be used by the second for the second customers. So, what we can say that selling is just like gambling. Just like in gambling means you never know the opponent or the other person or the person opposite to you has what move in their mind. You never know. In the same manner, for the customers, you never know what move he has in his mind and what kind of services basically he is requiring, whether he need lesser goods, lesser quality goods at low price or high quality goods at high price. You never know. So, it means the classification of customers are required, and before classifying the customers, we must know the basic things like the prospects game. As a business owner, you must know what the game is going on in the mind of the prospect or the would be customer. So, try to understand the game, what is going on in the mind of the customers, and again try to avoid the pricing that make the customers panic, because in both the cases you will lose your customers and indirectly you will lose the surplus that will be means in future you may gain. So, in both the cases you may get loss if you are not using these two types these two strategies. Now, we will move to the classification of customers. Basically, from the business point of view, customers can be classified into 4 categories. There may be different classifications, and each classification may have its own perspective, but for business perspective, the customers can be classified into 4 categories: price buyers, relationship buyers, value buyers, and poker player buyers. See, price buyers, as the name says itself, price buyers are very much concentrated towards the price. Means there are the customers who want to buy the products, purchase the product, but at less price. They are very less concerned with the quality of the products, since they know the quality is the thing that cannot be offered at less prices. So, these kinds of buyers are less concerned with quality and they go with the lowest prices available in the market by the other organizations. So, for these kinds of buyers, the business organization should offer the prices, should start the prices offering at low prices, so that they can complete the transactions, buying and selling transactions. At the same time, there may be the second type of buyers, we can say it relationship buyers. These kinds of buyers, they have very much trust on their sellers, and they try to maintain the good relationship with their sellers, so that the best part of the products can be delivered to them. These kind of buyers, they are very much means having the dependency on the sellers, and they leave themselves so as to get the best product, because they rely on, they have trust, they have faith on the sellers. These kind of buyers should not be should be taken care, much taken care, because once the relationship, when the satisfaction level decreases, they will break the relationship and they will move to some other organization for acquiring the goods. The third category of the customers are value buyers. The value buyers are the buyers who are less concerned about the prices, but more concerned about the quality. Means ऐसे कस्टमर्स जिनको क्वालिटी, जो क्वालिटी के पीछे भागते हैं, उन्हें क्वालिटी चाहिए, दे नीड क्वालिटी, वेदर दे आर ऑफरिंग लेस, they are paying less or paying more, it does not matter. For them, value is the highest priority. If they, and for these value buyers only, we can see there are so many players in the market who are offering the value to the customers at high prices, but still they are having good footfall for the of the customers. And the last is the poker player buyers. Poker player buyers are somewhat like price buyers and value buyers. They lie in between these two types of buyers. Why? Because they believe, these kinds of buyers believe that they have to act as if they are more concerned with the prices, but they at the same time they need high quality of goods. Means quality is, we many times we use the words cheap and best. So, what is cheap and best? It is the poker player buyers, means best product at less prices, and many times they have many moves to reduce the prices, to get the discounts. Bhai itne mein de do, itna discount hai, next time I will come again. Many times they use like this, the words they use, so that the discounts can be offered by the sellers for their offerings. Now, we will move to the elements of B2B offerings. B2B offerings or business offerings may have different kinds of value elements. Here elements refers to the value elements. See, every offering may have different elements, and for different customers different value elements may hit differently. हो सकता है कि आपके लिए इमोशनल पार्ट ज़्यादा फोकस कंसंट्रेट करता हो, ज़्यादा मैटर करता हो, बट फॉर सम अदर पर्सन देयर मे बी मोर ऑब्जेक्टिव रादर देन दी पर्सनल. तो देयर मे बी 40 distinct types of the value elements, and these 40 elements are arranged in the different levels. There are 5 levels, and these 5 levels make a pyramid model, pyramid shaped model. In the pyramid shaped model, there is the base model, baseline, or there is the lowest level, which is the objective elements, which has the objective elements, whereas as soon as we move upward, there will be less objective elements and more subjective or personal elements. And these 40 elements can be, as we have already discussed, they can be classified into 2 categories: objective elements, objective part, and the subjective part. Let us have a look on these elements. Yes, these are the 5 levels of the B2B offerings. Here we can see table stakes, functional value elements, ease of doing business value, individual value elements, and inspirational value elements. These are the 5 levels, pyramid shaped levels, and in every level we can see there are some elements. These elements are, now question is, what is these elements, these levels? First is the table stakes. Basically table stakes value elements is associated with meeting specifications, whatever is being ordered by the buyer, meeting specifications at acceptable price, in compliance with the regulatory parameters, and by us having the association with the ethical standards. These are the objective elements, and above these table stakes are functional value elements. Functional value elements have the association with, they are as economic and performance indicators. What does it mean? It means providing offering B2B offerings must have the improved top line at reduced cost with good quality product, having the good scalability and providing the innovations of the product. At the next level, it is somewhat subjective in nature. Ease of doing business value elements. These elements have productivity part, they have operational elements, they have relationship, strategic and access element. It means ease of doing business value means the elements which directly influence the productivity of the customers by time saving, by the reduction of their efforts, decreased hassles, providing the better information, good information and keeping the transparency in the transaction. At the same time, meeting out the relationship with responsiveness, providing expertise, having the commitment and stability and cultural fit. These are the relationship elements which comes under the ease of doing business value. And also strategic elements, there are strategic elements. Strategic elements has the association with the risk reduction, reach of the goods, flexibility and equipment quality, component quality. And finally, these ease of doing business value has the availability, variety and configurability, means access element. Now, this individual value elements, these elements are associated with the at personal level, means personally what design and aesthetics are offered, what growth and development are offered for their company. Reduce anxiety means what anxiety they by having your product they can be helpful. And finally, the fun and perks, what happiness they are having with the product by your B2B offering. At the same time, for their company, how your offering will work in network expansion, marketability and increasing the reputation of their company. These are the most personal or subjective. Inspirational value element. These value elements have different purposes. Purpose element means how they help their vision, how they help their hope for future and at the same time their social responsibility, how your offering will work in these directions. So, these are 5 elements, 5 level elements which will help the B2B offering more in making more effective transactions. How now question arises, how B2B elements can help for your company. See, if B2B elements is properly worked on, they will provide the better differentiation of the product, means better differentiation of the product means the product will be differentiated properly so as to select the best customers to focus on. The second is the revenue growth, means it directly helps the business organization to increase the sales and profitability and thus by increasing the revenue of the organization. B2B elements also helps in the innovation of the products. It means what kind of investment should be done so as to provide the better product to the customers, so as to give the most satisfaction. And finally, advocacy. It means if B2B elements are taken care of properly, then at that time the trust and loyalty of the buyer can be earned and it directly hit your word of mouth publicity means advocacy. They will everywhere they will say like this, the company with which they are working, it has good standards, they have good ethics, they have the subjective parts as well as the objective parts in the balance. So, it was all about the B2B elements, and thank you. Very soon I will be coming with next slide.